Shalom Akim. Kahala Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi Bahashem Yahawashi. Shalom to the Yakim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Yahweh that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith, and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. Shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and blessings to you all. Barakatham. Okay, so the name of this lesson is going to be Separate from this life and its pleasures. Separate from this life and its pleasures. And you know, it's funny how the spirit moves you, you know, where you can bring out lessons, you know what I'm saying? You can bring out edification based off of things that happen in nature. You know, like if you look at kung fu, let's say kung fu. You look at kung fu, what inspires many of these techniques in kung fu, you know what I'm saying? These famous techniques, they stem from nature. They stem from looking at nature. They stem from what? Cats, mantis, tigers, and all these things, you know what I'm saying? Bears. You know, nature inspires many things. Look at science. Look at the technology that we have. You know what I'm saying? Many of the technology that you find in the field of aeronautics, right? The fear of aerospace, the field of aerospace. You know what I'm saying? Many of the prototypes and many of the technology that you see today is, you know, stemmed from birds, stemmed from eagles, you know. And so you know, when it deals with the Salaki, with the word of the Most High, when it deals with the word of the Most High, the concept is the same. You know, you can learn from nature. You can learn from nature. Looking at King Solomon. King Solomon learned a lot of things and concepts of life from looking at nature. Things like monkeys, creatures like ants. You know what I'm saying? And one that is in tune with the spirit and understands through knowledge and wisdom, can gain further knowledge from looking at you know, things of nature. So my point is, I just moved to a new location. I moved to a new city. I'm settling into a new house, and what I see is a squirrel outside with no tail. Now, personally for me, I have a particular love for furry creatures, right? Small creatures like squirrels, you know, ferrets and things of that nature. You know, the small type of animals. I have a particular love for them, and so I always see this little guy come out, you know, out of my window, like, you know, every morning. And it sparked a lesson. Whereas I looked at this squirrel, and I see this squirrel is distinct from all the other squirrels that you see in the entire neighborhood. It doesn't have a tail, right? And so I thought about that. I thought about, how does the Most High see his people? Because they're all squirrels, right? They're all squirrels. But this one is distinct from the rest. So how does the Most High see his people? Right? The Israelites. You have the Israelites, but then you have the Israel of the Most High. Right? The Most High has a remnant out of this bunch of his, right? And so those are the ones that he specifies for himself. So even within his own chosen people, he has a particular amount allotted for himself, right? As the scriptures say, he has called them since the beginning of the world, since the beginning, right? And so it got me thinking, what separates the, let's say, the wheat from the tare, if you will, the wheat from the tare. They both look the same, right? They both look the same, but the wheat is the Most High, the tares is not, right? And so that's what sparked the lesson. Separate from this life and its pleasures, because what we want to do is we want to stand out. We want to stand out from among the rest. That's what the Most High is dealing with. The Most High is dealing with the elect. With the elect. The elect are specific to Him. And within the elect is an elect of the elect. Like let's say the elite, if you will. The elite belong to Him. You see? And so let's get into this lesson here. Let's get into this lesson, because what separates us from the rest of Israel, from the rest of Yasharallah, is our devotion. Our devotion and our commitment to the Most High, to His will, to His service. That's what separates us from the rest, right? And Lord willing, I'll be counted upon, among that number. I'm only speaking as a man, you know what I'm saying? But you get into the idea, to the understanding of how the Most High thinks. You know what I'm saying? Of what's the separation? Because the thing about the Most High is that Yahweh is always a man of separation. He separates this from that category, from that category, from that category, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? All the way down to the nations. You know what I'm saying? Because there's 18 nations, and he pulled from one, right? He pulled one out of all these other nations, and within this particular nation that he grabbed, he has a particular portion for himself. That would be, let's say that would be his particular fruit. Okay, so I'm babbling. So let's get into these scriptures. Let's see. I want to start at 2 Timothy. And y'all forgive me if I'm getting long-winded, because I get caught up in thought a lot. So let's start at 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 4. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 4 says, "No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier." And that's what we do, man. That's what we're doing. We're called into this service to be soldiers. To be soldiers. Okay? And I'm looking around and I'm noticing that there's so many Israelites who know who they are. These so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, I'm looking at so many of them who know who they are, but are turning back. You see what I'm saying? The scriptures say, "He that put his hand to the plow and looking back is not fit for the kingdom." Like he that turns aside is he going back to his own vomit, like a dog goes back to his own vomit. You see what I'm saying? And we're not there yet. You have to understand, we're not there yet. This is a race. This is a race in a marathon, right? It's not something that you can just sprint to the finish. You have to maintain a course. You have to maintain your momentum. You know what I'm saying? So you don't lose your stride. So you don't lose your energy. And I'm looking around and I'm seeing many are falling away. Many are falling out. You know what I'm saying? And in this critical time, we have an obligation to push harder. We have an obligation to push harder. It says, let me read that again. It says, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. There's so many that's turning back to the ways of what they used to do. They're turning back to what they were back in the world. They're turning back to smoking. They're turning back to drinking. You know what I'm saying? Right? They're turning back to these things that took them away from the Most High. They're turning back to what? Money first. That money first mentality. You know? And now is a critical moment. Now is a critical moment. Like I said, the wheats and the tares, the Most High is doing that sifting right now. The Most High is separating. He's separating. Like he always does. He always separates. And that's why those that's of the hopeful elect, you know what I'm saying, we're supposed to continue on and keep asking for, you know what I'm saying, keep asking for more wisdom, keep asking for more faith, more faith. More, that's the biggest thing that we need in these times that's coming. Mark my words, we're going to need more and more and more faith. All right, so let's get into the next scripture. This is Revelations chapter 18, verse 4. And it says, I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. We have to come out of this place, man. We got to come out of the philosophies of this place. We got to come out of the customs of this place, because time is short. Because time is short. Time's running out, man. We don't have a lot of time here. We don't have a lot of time here. You know what I'm saying? Many people may be looking for particular things to happen. You know what I'm saying? But what's the scripture say? Measure thou the times diligently. Measure the times diligently in itself. Lord willing, I'll get that scripture later on. But what are the things that we need to separate from? We need to separate from, you know what I'm saying, the season that we're in right now. Like what's happening? We're in the quote unquote holiday season. Quote unquote holiday season. Okay, how many people just took their kids trick or treating? Huh? Think about that real quick. How many people took their kids trick or treating? How many of these parents were Israelites? And how many of these Israelites knew that they were Israelites? How many of them knew that? Think about it. How many of these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians who took their children trick-or-treating, how many of them know that they're Israelites? Think about that real quick. All right, so what else do we have coming up next? We got Thanksgiving that's coming. How many of these people who know that they're Israelites, how many of them are going to participate in Thanksgiving? You see what I'm saying? That's why the Most High is bringing an end to this. He's bringing it into this world, man. The famine is coming soon. You know what I'm saying? Martial law is about to be enacted. Everything's about to be turned upside down. The Most High is tired of this place. The Most High is tired. Let's get, as a matter of fact, you know what? Let's go to 2nd Esdras. It's a quick detour. Let's go to 2nd Esdras. Let me see. This is 2nd Esdras Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 10, it says, Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. The Most High is tired of this place, like I said, and he wants to bring a speedy riddance to this place. America doesn't have much time left. And all these 2/3 out here, all these Israelites who know who they are, specifically them who know who they are going to have a serious punishment coming real soon, man. Real soon. The Most High is not going to protect them in that day. The Most High is not going to protect them. You see what I'm saying? So let's jump to 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians chapter 6. Verse 14. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14, it says, be ye not unequally yoked. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? You see, we've got all these different doctrines coming out, man. We've got the flat earth doctrine. We've got, you know what I'm saying? We've got all the heathen can be saved doctrine. You know what I'm saying? We have all these different things that's popping up, man. We've got all these things that's shown his face. All these things that's shown his face, man. And now's not the time. Now's not the time to be getting swayed back and forth. You know what I'm saying? There is no time for that. Let's jump to verse 17. It says, Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith Yahawah, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. Don't touch these pagan holidays. Don't touch these. Here we are in the last hours. And it's time for you to go back to eating pork. It's time for you to go back to eating shrimp, right? Or whatever. It's time for you to go back to living your life to the best that you can. Living your best life. It's time to get this in, get that in. No, man. It's time to go build up land of our own. Buy up acres of land. It's time to do all these things. No, it's not. No, it's not. We're in the last hours. There's no time for that. There's no time for the foolishness. Let me read that again, verse 17. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17 says, Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith Yahawah, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. I will receive you. Many of these people that's doing all these things, they don't have faith. They don't have faith. They lack faith. Let's go back to 2 Corinthians chapter 5. Check 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. It says, Therefore, if any man be in Mashiach, he is a new creature. He is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. You see, once you become a new creature, you don't go back. You don't go back. There's no way back. There's no going back, man. There's no going back. Let me see. Let's go to Luke. Luke chapter 21, verse 34. Luke 21, verse 34, it says, "And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares." Let's look that up. Let's look that up. All right, let's look this up. Let's go to Luke. Luke chapter 21. Verse 34. This is Luke chapter 21, verse 34. Let's see. I went to King James. Let's look for Strong's KJV. All right. Luke chapter 21, verse 34 says, "And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting." Let's look up this word surfeiting right here. Surfeiting in Greek is kripele. Kripele. Alright, kripele is, let's see, definition: drunken nausea, drunken dissipation. Right? Dissipation. That's an interesting word, dissipation. Drunken dissipation, probably from the same as harpazo, properly a headache or a seizure from drunkenness. All right, so one of the things that happens when you get drunk and you wake up the next morning, you have what? A hangover. You have a hangover, right? Let's look up dissipation. Let's go up dissipation. Dissipation, the act of dissipation, dissipating, or the condition of having been dissipated. Wasteful expenditure or consumption. Wasteful expenditure or consumption. Dissolute indulgence in sensual pleasure. Okay, all right. So what's the name of this lesson? The name of this lesson is to separate from this life and its pleasures. Separate from this life and its pleasures. So it says, right, so it says again, it says Luke 21, Luke 21 verse 34, it says, "And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares." You see, if you're stuck with a hangover, if you're stuck in this drunken state, right? Worried about what oh, what am I going to do about my next vacation? Worried about this, what about that? You know what I'm saying? This thing's going to take you unawares, man. Wasteful expenditure or consumption. Wasteful expenditure, meaning you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. You see what I'm saying? Instead of getting into this word, instead of building up the faith, instead of continuing to be on your watch, what happens? You're wasting time. You're wasting time. And we don't have a lot of time, man. We don't have a lot of time. Right? You're being wasteful. The scriptures say to be good stewards. Good stewards. Right? That means we're supposed to be good stewards of what we have. And what we have is this wisdom and knowledge. What are we supposed to do with this wisdom and knowledge? We're supposed to eat this roll, and we're supposed to teach others. We're supposed to teach others. If you've been called into this thing, then you have a part to play. You have a part to play, and you have to do it. Let's go to the next verse. Luke chapter 21, verse 35. It says, "For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Now is not the time to be done. Now is the time, Salakia. Now is not the time to be going back to what you used to do. Now is not the time to be doing it. You understand? Now is not the time to be going back to the club. For all these niggas out here that just want to keep going back to all that foolishness. Right? My teacher told me, my teacher told you had saying you strap up or back up, man. You strap up or back up. You see what I'm saying? So what we doing in the spirit, we're strapping up. Strapping up how? We're strapping up with the knowledge of this word, which is a two-edged sword. Right? We're strapping up with the armor of the Most High. That's what we're doing. We got the breastplate. We got the breastplate of salvation. You know what? Let me grab that. Let's see. That's in Ephesians. Let's check. All right, this is Ephesians chapter 6. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 13. It says, "Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. And having done all to stand, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahawah." We ain't got much time left. Now's not the time to be doing all that. Now's not the time to be going back to doing the same shit that you used to do. Now's the time to get ready for these famines. Now's the time to get ready. Build up your spirit. Build up your faith. Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 16. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 40. It says, "O my people, hear my words." You see what I'm saying? But you can't hear your words if you stuck with a hangover. You can't hear no words if you drunk. If you still stuck in this life. If you still stuck. You see what I'm saying? It says, "O my people, hear my words. Make ye ready to the battle." How do you make it ready? How do you make yourself ready to the battle? I just read it. You put on the whole armor. How do you do that? By digging into these scriptures, man. By building your faith. How do you build your faith? By learning these scriptures. Make ye ready to the battle. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. The time's coming, man, where we have to get busy. The time's coming where we're gonna have to get busy. You see what I'm saying? 2/3 are gonna get caught up in this race war. You know what I'm saying? 2/3 is gonna be out here voting. 2/3 is gonna be out here doing all this dumb shit instead of turning to the Most High and seeking His wise counsel. You see, the scriptures say, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times, man. Let's see. And what times is that? Evil times. Evil times. Evil. The word Eve means time. Ill means desolate. Ill means desolate. Desolate times is coming. Wicked times is coming. Deplorable times is coming, man. You about to see the worst of people coming out soon. Real soon. Let me go to Isaiah. I believe it's Isaiah. Let's see. Isaiah chapter. Here we go. Isaiah 33. Isaiah chapter 33 verse 6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. Now's the time to get yourselves girded up. Now's the time to get yourselves strapped up. Now's the time to get yourself full of faith. Now's the time. Now more than ever, it's time to separate from this life and its pleasures, man. Let me see. Let me go to 2 Corinthians. Hold on a second. Second Corinthians. Oh, no. 1 Corinthians. Salakia. 1 Corinthians. Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 29. And it says, but this I say, brethren, the time is short. The time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none, and they that weep as though they weep not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoiced not, and they that buy as though they possessed not, and they that use this world as not abusing, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. Right? Let me read that last part again. It says, and they that use this world as not abusing it. You see what I'm saying? Don't be overcharged with fighting. Don't be overcharged with drunkenness. Don't be having this hangover, man. You see what I'm saying? Don't be stuck out here not knowing what's going on because you're not paying attention. Because you're not looking at the news, because you're not looking at what's happening. All around the world, you have sedition of men. Look at what's happening in France right now. Jokers is trying to flee. They're trying to flee the country of France. They're trying to run away from France because of the lockdown that's coming. It's all coming. Martial law is already here. It's coming. The mark of the beast is already here. It's about to be implemented. And you ain't going to have no choice. You're either going to take that or you're going to be cut off from society. And very soon they're just going to straight up start killing people if you don't take it. You see what I'm saying? They're going to start killing you if you don't take that. It says the time is short. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none, and they that weep as though they weep not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not, and they that use this world as not abusing it. For the fashion of this world passeth away. It's over, man. It's over for this place. Now's not the time to look for solace in this place, man. Now's not the time to look for happy days ahead. No. No, it's over. It's all destruction coming. There's nothing but destruction coming. You can say I'm one of those that I'm a party pooper. You can say that. You can say I'm an alarmist or whatever. No, man. This is prophecy. This is prophecy. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. This is prophecy. It's not my words. Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8, it says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. All these great prophets of old, Elijah, Elisha, Ezra, Ezra and Nehemiah, Jeremiah, Isaiah, all these great prophets of old, man. Habakkuk, Nahum. You see what I'm saying? The prophet Jonah. Where did he go to? He went to Nineveh to prophesy against them. All these prophets of old, Moses, they all prophesied of war and of evil and of pestilence. So what are the prophets today doing? Prophesying of war and of evil and of pestilence. And the Most High said before he warns those before he destroys them. That's how this goes. That's how it happens. Let's go to Amos. I'm going to wrap this up real quick. This is Amos chapter 3, verse 7. It says, surely Yahawah power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. You see, it says, the lion hath roared. Who will not fear? Yahawah power hath spoken. Who can but prophesy? We can only prophesy. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. We can just prophesy. We can't help it. We have to stay on our watch and prophesy, man. We have to keep watch. We have to feed the flock. And we have to let the word come out. Let's go to Habakkuk. Chapter 2, verse 1. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1, it says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. We have to stay on our watch, man. We have to stay on our watch. We got earthquakes all around the world. Uproars of the people all around the world. Look at what's happening. Pay attention, because we ain't got much time left. Alright, I got a couple more precepts, but I'm going to cut it right there, man. I'm going to cut it right there. This is separate from this life and its pleasures, and that's the point of what we're supposed to do, man. I got this whole lesson was sparked from a squirrel. This whole lesson was sparked from a squirrel. We want to stand out to the Most High. We want to stand out. It's just like the virgins, the 3 wise virgins who had their oil, and the three foolish virgins. who lost all their oil, who didn't lose it, but they ran out of oil. They ran out of oil. You see what I'm saying? They ran out of oil. Why? Because you can bring that to the same concept. They were overcharged with some fighting. They were busy with the cares of now and not worrying about what's coming. The 3 wise virgins were worried about what's coming. And so they said, forget the vacations, forget this, forget that, forget living my life to the best that I can or whatever, living my best life and all that garbage. They said, forget all that. I'm going to keep myself ready. Keep myself ready. What did it say? It said, watch and pray always. And that's what we're getting into, man. We're looking at the signs. We're looking at martial laws coming. We're looking at the lockdowns coming. We're looking at the mark of the beast coming. Jacob's trouble is here. Ain't no more time for games. Alright, so I'm going to say, call halal, Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Hawakakodash. Shalom to the Akim that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwah that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith, and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Peace and blessings to you all. Barakatah. Shalom.